Welcome to the Central Florida Insurance School. It was a gated chomp. It was a gated chomp. It was. Sorry. Look, my name is Jason Perez. I'm your Department of Financial Services Authorized Instructor. I'm going to be with you throughout this entire course. I'm going to be bringing in some guest speakers. I might be bringing in a couple of other instructors, but for the most part, you guys are stuck with me. But before we go any further, I want to congratulate you. Why? Like Mark Twain said, secret to getting ahead is getting started. And guys, you started. We're like 20 seconds into this. You know, which brings me to the first question. If we're going to jump right in and make every moment of our time together count, why should it matter to you that I'm a Department of Financial Services authorized instructor? It's because that if it just slipped by right there, every moment we spend together counts. You're already engaged in the class. Why? This is part of the class. I got to show you how to use the resources, right? One of the #1 questions we get, I don't care if it comes through Google Maps, the website, a phone call, how do you guys make it easy? How do you, what's it? Pre-licensing, keep up. That was one of those flashes. What? How do we keep pre-licensing easy? First of all, live instructors matter. We matter so much, it's ridiculous. Everything else, they talk about a self-study. You're just going to get one of these textbooks. I want to let you know, we went through every one of those textbooks. A little bit of me died. It died. I sat there. I was all huddled up. No, what do you mean insurance code? Right? Dude, insurance code is just another word for insurance laws. I didn't know that. They popped it on to me in like chapter 26. I'm sitting here and I'm Googling things and they keep on giving me answers and I don't understand the answers that I'm getting. I don't want that for you. I'm here to make it easy. I'm here to make it easy, all right? So live instructors do matter, and the other thing that I do to make it easy, I make you relax. How do I make you relax? In conversations like this, just like in the very beginning, remember in that first like 20 seconds or so where I was like, Department of Financial Services? I actually think I mentioned it like 3 times since then. Obviously, it's an important topic. But if I'm sitting here and I'm telling stories and trying to keep you up in current events, you might miss it, right? Because you're sitting back and maybe you got your headphones on, you're like, oh, this guy's funny, right? Yeah, something like that. I ain't that funny. But you know what? I can help you relax. I've got the sexiest flashcards in the industry. Yes, I flash for you, baby, when I need you guys to relax. That's what I do. I flash for you. iFlashForYou.com. We did that. We created that, right? Check this out. Bam, David, show them how we flash for you. Boom, insurance flashcards. Remember, I equals insurance. You guys are just the biggest bunch of potty mouths, but get your mind out of the gutter. You like how we did that? We put it right up front. Why? Because this class is not that serious. Well, I mean, it is. It's only like the career that you're trying to start for the rest of your life, and it's only like a licensed, you know, insurance agent. So let me take that back. Maybe it is serious, but it's not that complicated. It's not that hard. And let's talk about these flashcards, all right? Because like over here, I'm gonna block out who gave them to me. See, you can't see who gave them to me. I'm gonna talk to them about this. But see how thick this is? I hate those freaking flashcards. You know why? Because the class is either 40 or 60 hours long. And you want to sell me a pack of 400 flashcards? Guys, that's just about as useful as this book. You know why I held it upside down? Because that's about how useful the book is. But don't worry about it. I got a bonus that's going to decode that book. And you're going to be like, oh, but Jason, this book is fantastic. I know. The book is great, right? National Association of Insurance and Financial Advisors. Sounds exactly like the type of party that I want to attend. But anyway, look, we're going to go ahead, and what I'm going to do is let's talk about these flashcards, because these flashcards, super special. There's no nudity or anything on it, so it's not like when I'm like, I flash for you, every time I do, there's nothing in there. It's not like if you go ahead and flip through 300 different terms, all of a sudden on 301, there's a quick subliminal, no, nothing of the sort, right? Well, it was a funny story how it happened, because obviously we wanted to go ahead and sync our resources, and we want people to be able to find the flashcards, right? Well, duh, flashcards.com is taken. And so then we're going through and they're like, insurance flashcards, well, that's taken. Why? Because some people are actually in the business of flashcards, I guess. You know, maybe there's other schools. Although I didn't find any other schools that had any products with any of their resources. Why? Because they might suck. I said might, so it's not defamation. It's not like I'm really talking about their product or anything. I'm just saying they didn't go through the trouble of making it registered with the Department of Financial Services and all that good stuff. I did, because I care. I would never send you off into the public to do unpaid overtime. But anyway, we're talking about these flashcards that are so much more special than everybody else's flashcards. Look, I sound like a Republican there, right? Like that last Republican president. These are the most luxurious flashcards you guys are ever gonna have, right? But the point that I was trying to make earlier is that these right here, you know, I've had these for a while. I just never opened them. But look, there's a ton of them, right? It's really hard for you to go through 40 hours of content and not compartmentalize your terms. I would never send you off to the glossary and like, hey guys, go read the glossary and then come back to class. That's what that is. There's no way. The best way to get through this course is for your live instructor, who matters so much, to go ahead and compartmentalize it, okay? So when we compartmentalize it, this first episode right now, and I didn't mix that up. We call these episodes because every single live session is an episode, because then we also break that off in the podcast, but we're not going to talk about the podcast now. But this episode right now, this class segment, if you're following along, which you should be, and have our iFlash for You cards open to episode 1, every single key word that I've discussed is there, and it's actually there in sync with the class. So like when I come in and I'm like, I'm Jason Perez, authorized blah, 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 that authorized blah, blah, blah part is going to be there in the cards, because I want you to see it. I want you to be able to, like I said, I want you to kick back. I want you to be able to watch on like a YouTube. I want you to get a nice little vibe going. I'll be honest with you, I kind of watch when I'm editing. I can understand just fine at 1.25, but you didn't hear that from me, you know. But so when you're going through it, and as you're flashing through with these cards, I like it because they also going to ask we're going to throw some questions in there. So we're not only identifying the topic, we're throwing some questions in there. So while you're absorbing the content from an instructor, or you know, whether it be live or pre-recorded, your flashcards are there almost like a timeline. Imagine if this was your flashcards here. As I'm telling the story, all these different concepts pop in. And anyway, we left that up there for you guys because that is the timeline of the fast start, okay? In this fast start, or this test drive as we should say, what I'm gonna do is right now I'm explaining to you the flashcards. We're about to go ahead and transition out of this hello, welcome to the Central Florida Insurance School moment, and we're gonna send you over to the iPower Moves podcast. Now on the iPower Moves podcast, we're gonna make it super easy for you to start this course. I'm gonna take you way back to like my childhood, right? We're gonna learn all about government structures from one of my favorite cartoons. But more importantly, what I want you to do is I want you to be able to see through this segment. The segment's 17 minutes, 25 seconds long. In that, we're going to introduce the Department of Financial Services, but more importantly, the Chief Financial Officer. Why? Because this entire course is all focused on the business of insurance. Well, 50% of the course is focused exclusively on the people who regulate the business of insurance. And I don't care, you know, I'm a Ron DeSantis fan, but Ron DeSantis doesn't regulate the business of insurance. The Chief Financial Officer, Jimmy Petronas, does. So what I'm gonna do is I'm about to transition right now, and I'm gonna fade out and leave you guys thinking for the next 4 minutes. What is wrong with this guy, and why does he have me watching this? I got my reasons. Peace.
As your body grows bigger,
your mind gets smaller.
it's great to learn.
Cause knowledge is power. It's Schoolhouse Rocky, the tip of the book of your favorite Schoolhouse.
I'm just a bill.
Whew, you sure gotta climb a lot of steps to get to this Capitol building here in Washington. Well, I wonder who that sad little scrap of paper is.
I'm just a bill, yes, I'm only a bill, and I'm sitting here on Capitol Hill. Well, it's a long, long journey to the capital city. It's a long, long wait while I'm sitting in committee, but I know I'll be a law someday. At least I hope and pray that I will, but today I am still just a bill.
Gee, Bill, you certainly have a lot of patience and courage.
Well, I got this far. When I started, I wasn't even a bill. I was just an idea. Some folks back home decided they wanted a law passed, so they called their local congressman, and he said, "You're right, there ought to be a law." And he sat down and wrote me out and introduced me to Congress, and I became a bill. And I'll remain a bill until they decide to make me a law. I'm just a bill, yes, I'm only a bill, and I got as far as Capitol Hill. Well, now I'm stuck in committee, and I'll sit here and wait while a few key congressmen discuss and debate whether they should let me be a law. I hope and pray that they will, but today I'm still just a bill.
Listen to those congressmen arguing. Is all that discussion and debate about you?
Yeah, I'm one of the lucky ones. Most bills never even get this far. I hope they decide to report on me favorably, otherwise I may die.
Die?
Yeah, die in committee. Oh, but it looks like I'm going to live. Now I go to the House of Representatives and they vote on me.
If they vote yes, what happens?
Then I go to the Senate and the whole thing starts all over again.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes. I'm just a bill. Yes, I'm only a bill. And if they vote for me on Capitol Hill, well, then I'm off to the White House where I'll wait in a line with a lot of other bills for the president to sign. And if he signs me, then I'll be a law. I hope and pray that he will. But today I am still just a bill.
You mean even if the whole Congress says you should be a law, the president can still say no?
Yes, that's called a veto. If the president vetoes me, I have to go back to Congress and they vote on me again, and by that time it's over.
By that time, it's very unlikely that you'll become a law. It's not easy to become a law, is it?
No, but how I hope and pray that I will. But today I am still just a bill.
He signed your bill. Now you're a law.
Oh, yes.
We're live. We're live. Okay, none of that replay stuff, man. Some of you guys are gonna get this on a replay, but you do know everybody who's on the replay gets none of the after class bonuses. Why would you do that? Anyway, look, I'm not here to throw shade on you. I'm here to actually talk about the Chief Financial Officer, because that is the person in charge of the entire business of insurance in the state of Florida. Who's higher than the Chief Financial Officer? Well, I guess we got a governor, but he hired the financial officer to go ahead and take care of all the banks and all the lenders and all the insurance companies that we're going to talk about, right? Well, correction. We're actually not going to talk about banks and lenders, are we, right? We're going to mention them because they're somewhere in there. We got a couple little products, but we don't care about those people. We're not out for those licenses. We're going to focus. Everything we're going to talk about is all about insurance. All right, so in that realm, CFO Jimmy Petronas, yo, this dude is a beast, okay? Just back in late January 2020, the Chief Financial Officer Jimmy Petronas, head of the Department of Financial Services. If you're listening to this, I just shook my fist at the frickin' camera to be like, yo, can you pay attention at this Jimmy Petronas guy? The CFO is the head of the Department of Financial Services. I think you just answered 2 questions on a test there, but I jump ahead of myself, right? So alongside of Senator Tom Wright and this other guy, Representative Chuck Clemens, I don't know what he represents, but he's something important because together they announced a consumer protection bill, which is focused on protecting Floridians, especially following a disaster. Now, in a press release after the proposed legislation passed its first major hurdle, the CFO wanted to make it clear, with this bill, and it is only a bill, and it's still sitting there on Capitol Hill. Oh, but it's off to committee, right? So we're sending a message to all insurance companies that if you're going to operate in the state of Florida, you must do what's right by your customers. No longer should we have claim handling issues. What are these claim handling issues? Well, like delays after a storm. Basically, they're trying to get insurers to go ahead and speed up the process. How pissed would you be if you're sitting there in a Motel 8 when you used to be over here chilling in Windermere? You're going to be pretty feisty, right? He's trying to make sure you don't get stuck with a Motel 8 in the meantime. But anyway, this next part, he got me because I have kids. I don't know if you have kids, but tell me you haven't said something like this when you walk into what we call the guest bathroom, because we would never go to the guest bathroom if we had to, because our kids use the guest bathroom, right? Why do I need to come in here and tell you guys to pick your crap up off the floor, right? That's what Jimmy said to the insurance companies. He says, I shouldn't have to step in to make sure insurance companies are doing what they should for their customers. I don't know. I saw the parallel there, all right? Well, Jimmy Petronas goes on to acknowledge how this new legislation is only a step forward. If passed, this new consumer protection bill, I should say, will force insurers to pay claims within 90 days, and it's going to refocus industry claim payment standards to better reflect our customer-first marketplace. That's a good, real quick spot for me to side note here, because you guys all think that right now we're going into law and ethics so that way you can learn what to do and what not to do. But in all actuality, the next 5 hours of this course might as well be called, you know, Informed Consumers 101, because everything that I'm going to show you are actually consumer resources. I'm going to be showing you how to use consumer resources for you to be a better professional insurance agent. What? I swear, it's a true story. All right. So, in addition to the timely payment of claims, the bill that is still sitting on Capitol Hill also stiffens the guidelines against unlicensed and unauthorized entities who conduct the business of insurance without authorization. What does that mean? Well, right now you guys are in class pre-licensing, right? Got to go through a 40-hour class. You're going to have me showing off my mad t-shirt game and having to go talk this statute stuff for 40 hours. And then you're going to go take the state exam. And then you're going to jump through a bunch more hoops, right? Well, basically, what this consumer protection bill is saying is that if ever somebody doesn't jump through all those hoops, we're going to charge them with a third-degree felony. Because although you're going to be an insurance agent, right now, like me, aren't you a customer? You're an insurance customer, okay? And what is insurance? It's not that health insurance helps keep me healthy. Health insurance helps me pay, helps me absorb the financial costs associated with getting sick, getting injured, and sometimes even dying. So what we're basically saying with this consumer protection bill and this clamping down and making penalties harder on unauthorized entities is that if somebody was to pretend to have your credentials once you're licensed and go out and misrepresent products, we're going to look at it as a crime. So just remember that. It doesn't pertain to you because you're here doing the right thing, but this whole course is all about some see something, say something. We're going to treat these unauthorized entities like they're a bunch of terrorists. So, last but not least, this does pertain to you guys because a good portion of you are probably going to sell Medicare. Well, if this bill gets passed, you can't use the word Medicare in the name of your entity. You can use it in your advertisements and things like that, but you can't have Jason's Medicare Agency. You know, it's kind of like a baby boomer thing, you know, because we are talking about, for the most part, people over 65, and you start using those clever, slick words, and they don't like that. All right. But if you do want some more information pertaining to Consumer Protection Bill, you can't get it here, so you can go look for that stuff. The Chief Financial Officer, who from now on we're going to refer to as the CFO, the guy is an independently elected official, okay? Meaning that he's not appointed, there's an election, and somewhere in theory we all check that box, right? Like, oh, and who do you want to be this guy? Yeah, we checked that one. Yeah, he's got a nice name. All right, but anyway, we're going to refer to the CFO guy, all right? Now, his responsibilities include, what did I say? Head of the Department of Financial Services. He serves alongside the governor as both a member of the Financial Services Commission and the governor's cabinet. Now, let's make a hard pause, all right? Hard pause here. CFO, Governor, Financial Services Commission, Department of Financial Services. Doesn't this already start to sound like a bunch of crap? There's a lot of things to remember here, right? Watch me get rid of these. What did I tell you about the governor? He's irrelevant to the business of insurance. So what does that mean about the governor's cabinet? We can close it. Bam! Get out of here. Wait, sound effects. Get out of here. We don't want to see the governor. We don't want to see his cabinet. All they're basically saying is that, Luke, I trust you with the empire. I don't know. There we go. I don't know where that came from. We're going to keep it, though. We're going to keep it. Unless somebody at Empower isn't a Star Wars fan, then we might have to go to like some kind of Captain Kirk analogy, but I doubt they're going to watch this. Anyway, so this governor cabinet, boom, out of here. In Spanish, we say ba fuera, outside. All right, but the Financial Services Commission, I want to make a distinction here, okay? It's getting a little warm in there. All right, so I'm the CFO. I'm looking over the entire business of insurance in the state of Florida. In my left hand, I'm holding the power to regulate all the banks and all the insurance companies. That's where the Financial Services Commission comes in, okay? Because over at the Financial Services Commission, they regulate the entities, okay? There's nothing personal there. That is business to business. That is a business communicating with the state and the state making sure that they are going to do everything they promise for us, the agent, the consumer, okay? Now, the CFO, let's say I'm the CFO, I'm right, I'm holding these insurers, these insurance companies over here accountable. Well, in this hand is my Department of Financial Services. This hand, this is the one that handles all the intimate moments between the state and the consumers. So basically, I shouldn't even say the state. It handles all the intimate moments. That's where the Financial Services Commission has the Office of Insurance Regulation and the Office of Financial Regulation. Well, regular people like us don't need an office. The offices are for the Financial Services Commission, the Department of Financial Services. That's where you're going to find customer service. That's where if you and I have a problem with one of those people in the offices, we call the Department of Financial Services customer service so they can help us sort that out. I bet you didn't know that. You know, I've actually never spoken to somebody who has actually called the state on an insurer. They'll call an attorney, they'll call their mother, but they don't know to call the state. I'm going to teach you who to call on the state.